Hi my dear students, welcome back to Pullas Academy. This is physics class for research students. This is Kiran Kumar, faculty of physics. Today we are going to discuss about one revision class on elements of vector sum. In this revision class sum, I will cover total elements of vectors concept in this one class sum. Okay, now listen carefully. So first we will discuss in this topic so majorly we will discuss about the what is the difference between scalars and vectors. Okay, now after that we will discuss the different types of vectors. Okay, now next after that we will discuss addition and subtraction of vectors. So these are mainly depending upon three principles. One is triangle law of vectors, parallelogram law of vectors, and polygon law of vectors. We will discuss these all principles. After that, last topic is we will discuss the multiplication of vectors. We have two methods for vectors. One is scalar product, one is vector. What is scalar product? What are the properties and what are the applications of scalar product? In the same way, we will discuss vector product and its properties and its applications. This is complete syllabus related to the elements of vectors. Okay, no? Right. First, we will discuss. Actually, before this scalars and vectors, you need to understand physical quantities. What is physical quantities? Simple is called physical quantities as measurable quantities are simple is called as physical quantities. Measurable quantity. Simple definition for physical quantities: measurable quantities. All measurable quantities are called as physical quantities. Any one is possible to measure. For example, length is one physical quantity. So this is possible to measure. So mass is physical quantity. Okay. Next, time is physical quantity. It is possible to measure. Okay. Next, one more is velocity is physical quantity. Okay. Because it is possible to measure. Velocity, force is physical quantity. So these all are the physical quantities. Actually, these physical quantities are classified into two types based on the direction. Okay, what are the two types? Actually we have three types, mainly two types. One is scalars and vectors. Actually we have one more type, that is also tensor. Based on this direction we will discuss these three types. So that means here these physical quantities, the first type is called as scalars. Okay, so the second type is called as vectors. Second type is what? Vectors. And third type is called as tensors. Tensors. These are the three types. What are scalars? Actually the physical quantities which has only magnitude but no direction. So they are called as scalars. Okay, they have only magnitude, no direction. Simple understood. Scalar have only magnitude, they have magnitude. They have magnitude, but they have not direction. Okay, so this is about the scalars. Clear? So for examples are important. These are the scalars. Length, mass. Okay, time. Next, distance also called as what? Path length. And speed. Okay, next, density. Okay, next, frequency. Okay, in this way number of quantities, just these are some examples of scalars. Okay, they have only magnitude but no direction, so they are scalars. Whereas vectors have only both magnitude and direction. They have both magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction. This is about the vectors. Both magnitude and direction. Okay, they obey the laws of vector addition. Examples is important. So here displacement is one vector. Displacement is vector. Velocity is vector. Okay, next acceleration is one more vector. Clear? Next, what? Force is vector. So many vectors we have. Momentum is vector. Okay, so these all are the vector quantities. So in the situation I have explained all which is scalar, which are vector. Already if you introduce any quantity that is scalar vector, already we have discussed in this way understood what is scalar and what is vector. This is about the vectors. Okay, na? Tensor stands they have different magnitudes in different directions. They are called as tensors. Actually they have that, from the definition, they have different magnitudes in different directions. Clear? So this is about the tensors. Okay, so example for tensor, moment of inertia. This is one quantity, moment of inertia. So actually it is not important for your ECET syllabus, but just majorly asking question based on scalar and vectors, but it's related topic, that's why I have explained to you. Moment of inertia, stress. Okay, na? So these are the examples of tensors. So these are the classification of physical quantities based on the direction. Okay, na? Now we are going to discuss about the types of vectors. Okay, we will discuss types of vectors. We have number of types of vectors. Majorly important is unit vector, zero vector, position vector. These are the important. First I want to explain clearly this. Remaining also we will discuss. So first one is called as unit vector. What is unit vector? According to the definition, just in the word is there, unit stands 1 So a vector whose magnitude is 1 so that is called as unit vector. Simply understood, unit vector magnitude is 1 Unit vector magnitude is 1 and its direction is what? Unit vector is indicates direction actually. It is parallel to given vector. Unit vector direction always indicates the direction of the given vector because it is parallel to the given vector. That's why its direction is, it is parallel. It is parallel to given vector. Parallel to given vector. So this is about the unit vector. Okay, no? So in this way you need to understand what is unit vector and it. So for example, r bar is one vector, its unit vector is r cap is equal to r bar by modulus of r bar. So this expression stands the unit vector, r cap is equal to r bar by modulus of r bar. That's the form. Based on this expression, this vector r bar is equal modulus of r bar into r cap. This expression stands the given vector in terms of unit. This is magnitude, this is indicates the direction. In this way we have to understand what is the magnitude. One more, so sometimes here asking orthogonal unit vectors. Orthogonal unit vector, which are called as orthogonal unit vectors. So just here, for example, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is z-axis. So these are the coordinate axes. These are mutually perpendicular to each other. This is origin. X-axis direction is horizontal direction. It is denoted by one unit vector. The direction is always represented by unit vector. That's why I cap stands one of the orthogonal unit vector. It indicates x-axis direction. Along y-axis means what? Y-axis direction denoted by j cap unit vector. Z-axis direction denoted by k cap. This is I cap, j cap, k cap is the unit vector. These all are the mutually perpendicular to each other. These are called as orthogonal unit vector. The magnitude of I cap, this I cap vector magnitude, j cap vector magnitude and k cap vector magnitude is becomes 1. Okay, that means the magnitude of these all unit vectors is considered as 1. Okay, in this way we have to understand this is orthogonal unit vectors. Okay, now next second type is called as, you need to understand zero vector. Zero vector also called as what? Null vector. This is also called as null vector. What is zero vector? So just simply is understood, the magnitude of any vector is 0. Magnitude is equal to 0. No so undetermined the direction. There is no need to discuss because there is no magnitude. That's why there is no need to discuss about the direction. That's why undefined. Here this direction of null vector is undefined. So this is about the zero vector. Next third type is called as a position vector. The next type is position vector. What is position vector? A vector whose represents the position of the given vector from the respected point or from the origin, that is called as position vector. For example, origin is a known position, that's why always indicated by any respected position as actually be in xy plane or in xyz space. Origin is a known value. If you consider any point P, what is this position of this particle from this origin is considered as what? Position vector. Its position x, y, z. X, y, z is indicates the position of this vector. So this is in this way denoted by r bar. Actually its position vector r bar is equal to x I cap plus y j cap plus what? Z k cap. So this vector indicates the position vector along x-axis, along y-axis, along z-axis. These are the components or magnitudes. This expression in 3D, in three-dimensional position vector in xy plane, that is just right here. R bar is equal to xi cap plus yj cap. This is important expression. Along x-axis magnitude x, along y-axis is y. In this way understood. Its magnitude, if you want, modulus of r bar is equal. They all are perpendicular. That's why x square plus y square plus z square is the magnitude. Suppose modulus of r bar is equal to under root of x square plus y square. So this is about the magnitude of given position vector. Here important is sometimes asking what is the angle made by this vector makes some angle theta with the x-axis. Then what is the direction is measures by this angle. Here we have one important formula, that is tan theta is equal to y component by x component. This is very important. Here asking question x y components are given in vector form. So based on this expression you get what is tan theta value. By tan theta value you get what is the direction of the given vector. If asking in a two-dimensional direction of vector, use this formula you get. In three-dimensional also it is based on, if we consider this vector makes some angle alpha, then cos alpha is equal to r bar by under root of r square plus under root of x square plus y square plus z square. Based on this expression you get it. That means for example in three dimension cos alpha is equal, so x component is I consider x under root of x square plus y square plus z square. This is a formula for cos alpha. Suppose the same vector with respect to the y axis, here this is alpha. If you consider beta, so in the same way cos beta is equal y by under root of x square plus y square plus z square. This is cos beta. In the same way cos gamma is equal to z by under root of x square plus y square plus z square. Cos gamma is equal to also same, that is z axis z by under root of x square plus y square plus z square is the formula. Okay now. So based on this cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma, you have one important relation cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma. Okay now. So this is similar to, we have to consider one so that is one of the relation among these alpha, beta, gamma. So this is about the position vector. We have some more types of vectors we will discuss now. Okay. The next type is you need to understand parallel vector sum. What is parallel vector sum? Actually, if the angle between any two vectors is 0 degree, they are parallel vector sum. Okay. No? So if they are anti-parallel vectors means what? Anti-parallel vectors. That means if the angle between two vectors is 180 degrees, they are called as anti-parallel vectors. That's all. Okay now. Next one parallel vectors, anti-parallel vectors, and here suppose asking normal vectors. Normal vectors are perpendicular vectors. What are normal vectors? The angle between any two vectors is 90 degrees, that is normal vectors. Okay now one more equal vectors means what? Equal vector stands the magnitude and direction of any two vectors is same, that is equal vectors. For equal vectors magnitude and direction is same and for same quantity. So next unequal vectors means what? If the magnitude or direction is not same, so anything is not equal, that is unequal vectors. Okay. Next one like vectors. What are like vectors? Like vector stands any two vectors, so they have same direction with different magnitudes or same magnitudes, they are like vectors. That means equal vectors also like vectors. but all equal vectors are not like vectors. All like vectors are not equal vectors. That means these like vectors have same direction with same magnitude or different magnitude. If they have same direction with same magnitude, equal. If they have different magnitudes, they are called as like they are only like vectors. They are not equal vectors. Unlike vectors means what? They unlike vectors stands what? They have not same direction. So they have different directions with different magnitudes or same magnitudes. Just if the directions are different for any two vectors, they are not like vectors. They are unlike vectors. Okay, na? In this way you have to understand. And one more is negative vector. What is negative vector? So a vector whose magnitude is opposite, that is negative vector. In this way understand. Next, coplanar vectors. Coplanar vectors means what? If any two vectors are in the same plane, they are called as coplanar vectors. If they are not same plane, they are called as non-coplanar vector. Non-coplanar vectors. Okay, now. So here co-initial vectors. Co-initial vectors means if any two vectors starts from same initial point, they are called co-initial vectors. Okay, now. So if they are if any two vectors final positions are same, they are called as co-final vectors. In this way. Okay, now. Next, co-terminal vectors means what? So the terminals, co-final vectors, co-terminal vectors are same. Okay, na? Next, one more vector says polar vectors. Actually, polar vectors are called as true vectors. Actually, okay, na? So so polar vectors stands for they are true vectors. So next, what non-polar vectors. Non-polar vectors. Non-polar vectors. So in non-polar vectors are not true vectors. These are false vectors. Okay, now that means these vectors is actually its position is changes with the actually motion of the coordinate system. Actually, due to the here this position of the particle is with respect to the respected coordinate system. If the coordinate system is also in motion, that in this case the moving coordinate systems is considered as non-polar vectors. These are imaginary vectors. In this way you need to understand these are the types of vectors. Clear? Next, now you need to understand representation of vector. How to represent the vector? Representation of vector. What is representation of vector? Just a vector is represented by arrow mark. It has direction. Suppose A is one vector, a arrow placed above the symbol. That is representation of vector. The length of the line segment indicates the magnitude. This arrow mark indicates the direction. That is called as representation of vector. Direction also indicated by angle. So direction of any vector is how to understood by what is angle made with any known direction. That is called as direction. Next important concept is resolution of vector. Resolution of vector. What is resolution of vector? A vector is divided into two or more components. That is called as resolution of a vector. In a plane, any vector is divided into two components. For example, this is r bar vector. This is called as x-axis. This is y-axis. It makes some angle theta. This is r bar vector. This is O is the origin. Okay, now so this r bar vector makes some angle theta. Then what is resolution of this vector? Rx is equal r cos theta. One of the component. This is horizontal component. So vertical component is r sin theta. That means divided in two components. Along x-axis rx, along y-axis ry. Ry is equal to r sin theta, rx is equal to r cos theta. So that is the difference between these two. This is called as any vector is divided into two components. One is right in terms of cos theta, one is sin theta. This is along horizontal direction, the component is horizontal component. Along vertical, that is vertical component. Suppose the vector makes some angle theta with the horizontal direction, that is cos theta. Otherwise, this is given angle. So the same vector makes some angle theta with the vertical, then vertical component is not similar to sin theta, that is so that ry is equal to write r cos theta and rx is equal to write r sin theta. Don't confuse so actually horizontal component or vertical component from the vector, this vector makes some angle theta with the horizontal direction, this is right in terms of cos theta, in the perpendicular direction is sin theta, that's the difference. Okay, now so a vector resolve a three-dimensional vector, it is resolved into three components rx, ry, rz, that is measures already I have explained to you, cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma. Based on that expression it is possible to divide it into components. This is about the resolution of a vector. Okay, now we are going to discuss addition of vectors. Addition of vectors means any two vectors are added to each other, that is addition of vectors. Okay, now you have a bar and b bar vectors. What is addition of a bar b bar vectors? A bar plus b bar is called as addition of vectors. This is similar to, for example, this vector in 2 dimension or 3 dimension, that is its components are ax I cap plus ay j cap plus what az k cap. This is one vector. Next you have b bar vector is bx I cap plus by j cap. Next what bz k cap. These are components. X, this is x component, y component. So and here also based on this expression ax plus bx into I cap, next what ay plus by into j cap, okay na? Next plus az plus bz into k cap. So this is indicates the a bar plus b bar vector. In this way we have to understand. This is about the addition of vectors. So one important so this addition of vectors so obeys some principles. These are called as laws of addition of vectors. Laws of addition of vectors. Okay, now what are the addition of vectors principles? One of the principle, it obeys the commutative law. So why? Because a bar plus b bar is equal to b bar plus a bar. That's why it obeys the laws of obeys the commutative law. Okay, now so one more, it obeys the associative law also. Why? Because a bar plus of b bar plus c bar is equal a bar plus b bar of c bar plus c bar. This is associative law. It obeys the distributive law. Okay, now according to distributive law, a bar of b bar plus c bar is equal to what is formula? A bar into b bar plus a bar into c bar. It obeys distributive. These are called as laws of addition. Okay, now next subtraction of vectors. Subtraction of vectors. What is subtraction of vector? So if you have two vectors, the difference of two vectors is called as subtraction of vectors. In the same way, if you simplify, just you have three-dimensional vectors, that is ax minus bx into I cap plus ay minus by into j cap plus what az minus bz into k cap. This is subtraction of vector. So but here very important point, subtraction of vectors does not obey the commutative law. Why it does not obey commutative law? Because a bar minus b bar is not equal to b bar minus a bar, because a bar minus b bar is getting positive vector, b bar minus a bar is gives negative vector. Positive and negative vectors are not equal vectors because they are opposite direction. Equal vectors means same magnitude, same direction. That's why it is not possible. That's why the subtraction of vectors does not obey the laws of vector, does not obey the commutative law. If it does not obey commutative law, there is no discuss to the another principle. That's enough here. So this is about the addition of vectors and subtraction of vectors. So if you want addition any two vectors, must and should apply the three principles. We have three principles. Based on this application of these three principles, you are getting the resultant vector. It is not possible to measure directly. Why? Because what is the direction of given vectors, individual directions, and what is the angle between two vectors, if you know, then only it is possible to measure the direction, so magnitude and direction of resultant vector. So that's why Merchant should apply some principles. We have three important principles. One is parallelogram law of vectors, second one is triangle law of vectors, third one is called polygon law of vectors. We will discuss clearly this principle. In these three principles, which is very important, parallelogram law of vectors is very important. I want to discuss with you parallelogram law of vectors. Okay, so now we will discuss parallelogram law of vectors. According to the statement, in a plane at any point you have two vectors. This is one vector along this direction. This is along OA direction. That is P bar vector. So if you have another vector along OB direction, Q bar vector. These two vectors make some angle theta with each other. So if asking what is the magnitude and direction of its resultant vector. So how can we getting these two vectors, magnitudes and directions is understood. What is angle between two vectors is also known. According to the parallelogram law of vectors, its magnitude and direction is represented by diagonal of parallelogram. That means by using these two vectors, first complete the parallelogram. So then this is how to complete, draw the parallel and equal side to OA side, draw equal and opposite, equal and parallel to the OB side, you get a parallelogram, that is OACB in this parallelogram. So this line, this diagonal is indicates along this diagonal what is acting, resultant vector is acting, that is R bar. This is about the parallelogram law of vectors. So this is very simple. Along the diagonal of parallelogram you get resultant vector. According to this statement, this resultant vector this resultant vector R bar is similar to what, P bar plus Q bar. Addition of these two vectors is equal to R bar. That is in which direction, along the diagonal of parallelogram. At any point two vectors making with some angle theta, if you want to understand the direction of that resultant vector, at the point imagine the parallelogram. In this parallelogram, along the direction of parallelogram, its resultant vector is acting. This is a procedure to understand the direction and magnitude of the magnitude is indicates the side length of the diagonal indicates magnitude, and the so this its arrow mark means its direction. The direction of resultant vector is also represented by the direction of the diagonal of parallelogram. That is the point. So here we have already I have explained clearly what is how to derive expression also in our regular class. Just I want to give the formula, that's enough here. So first one is important formula, is repeated formula, most important formula for parallelogram law, that is magnitude of resultant vector. What is the point here? Magnitude of resultant vector. What is what it is indicated by R. R bar is the magnitude resultant vector. Its magnitude only indicated by R or modulus of R bar. What is the magnitude of resultant vector? After simplification, you get this formula. R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square plus what, 2pq cos theta. This is a formula for magnitude of resultant vector, most important formula. In this equation, P is P and Q R indicates what? P and Q R indicates magnitude of given two vectors. These are called magnitudes of given two vectors. That's all. Given two vectors. Next, what is theta here? Angle between two vectors. Angle between P bar and Q bar vectors, that is tan theta. That is a simple point. So this is about the resultant vector magnitude. Just magnitudes of given vectors and angle, then you get it. This is, and one more important formula is what? Direction. What is the direction? It is, suppose I denoted by alpha in this time. So after simplification, this direction is measured by tan alpha. Tan alpha is equal to, according to the after simplification, you get q sin theta by what is formula? P plus q cos theta. Just here known values are P and Q and theta. In terms of known quantities, what is expression for direction of resultant vector? This resultant vector makes some alpha with the P bar vector. So then tan alpha is equal, what is formula? Q sin theta by P plus Q cos theta is the formula. Okay, now in this way you need to understand. Otherwise if it makes some angle beta, so with respect to the q bar vector, so then you get tan beta is equal, just you get p sin theta by what is getting q plus p cos theta. After simplification you get it, both are same, this is tan beta tan alpha, but 99% this is enough, asking based on this. If sometimes confusing asking given this angle, use this formula. So this is about the direction of the given resultant vector based on the parallelogram law of vectors. This is most important formula. Okay now, so here sometimes asking what is some special cases related to the parallelogram law, you need to concentrate here. Special cases, first one, suppose you have two parallel vectors. For parallel vectors, what is the magnitude of resultant vector? For parallel vectors, okay now, for parallel vectors, so then theta is equal, consider here 0 degree, substitute in the formula 0, cos 0 is 1 into 2pq, that means p plus q whole square root cancel, for parallel vectors r is equal p plus q, that is the enough. Otherwise so if you have two anti-parallel vectors, for anti-parallel vectors, okay now, for anti-parallel vectors, what is magnitude? Just theta is equal to, for anti-parallel vectors theta is 180 degrees, cos 180 minus 1, that means p minus q whole square, so that means r is equal to, you get p minus q is the formula. Next, third one is called as perpendicular vectors, for parallel, for normal vectors or perpendicular vectors. Normal vectors means what? Theta is 90, cos 90 is 0, 0 and something is 0. That means here you consider theta is 90 degrees, then r is equal to under root of p square plus q square. So this expression stands the r. In this way understood, this is so for parallel vectors, for anti-parallel vectors, for normal vectors. These are the special cases. In this way, if these two are equal vectors, substitute for equal and parallel vectors, then 2p is the formula, 2p or 2q. Equal and anti-parallel, resultant vector magnitude is 0. So if they are equal and normal vectors, p square plus p square, that means root 2p is the answer. In this way understood. So if given any special case, if you know these three equations, everything is possible. This is about the parallelogram. Suppose here if you have two vectors, you want subtraction of two vectors, that is also getting by the parallelogram. Subtraction means p r bar is equal p bar minus q bar. So for this vector, magnitude of resultant vector, a small difference after simplification, p square plus q square minus 2p cos theta. If you have two anti-parallel, if you have subtraction of two vectors, so that two vectors also make some angle theta with each other, so then use this formula, you get it. Only magnitude is important. If asking direction, just here q sin theta by p minus q cos theta, q minus, so that's the difference, everything is same. Here also, for in this special case, suppose asking for parallel vectors, what is tan alpha? In this expression where theta is equal, substitute 0, sin 0 is what? 0, that means tan alpha is equal 0, then alpha is 0. So here if it is 180, sin 180 0 again, so here also alpha is equal 0 degree. If it is 90, sin 90 is 1, it is cos 90 0, that means here tan alpha is equal to, expression is q by p. What is formula? Q by p. So for normal vectors, this is alpha is equal to tan inverse of q by p. So this is a procedure to understand the direction of this normal vectors. This is about the parallelogram law of vectors. Okay, now in parallelogram law of vectors, what is according to the statement, r bar is equal p bar plus q bar, along diagonal its resultant vector, its magnitude also indicated by diagonal, magnitude of resultant vector. This is a formula, this is a direction, these are the special cases. In case of subtraction of two vectors based on the parallelogram law of vectors, this is the expression. Here also asking special cases, in the expression where theta is equal 0, substitute, you get this special case, theta is 180, just here you get p minus q, here p plus q, again here getting same, there is no difference. In the same formula substitute, theta is 0, cos 0 is 1, that means p minus q whole square, that means for parallel vectors For parallel vectors, subtraction of vectors is p minus q. For anti-parallel vectors, subtraction of vectors p plus q. For normal vectors, that is what under root of p square plus q square. That's all. So this is about parallelogram law of vectors. We have triangle law of vectors and polygon law of vectors.